Let's read some Glitch in the Matrix stories part. Oh my god! Firstly, I'm spiritual. I can sense things, have seen spirits/ghosts, even smell things which aren't even there, like cigarettes. I have many stories, but that's for a different day. You don't have to believe being in spirituality, it doesn't matter, but this experience is very real and it terrified me. This happened last Thursday, the 6th of June, and I have never been so scared in all of my life. I live on a farm in the UK and have 2 dogs, Henry and Meg. The dogs are super chill. Yes, they bark when people turn up just to tell us that someone is there, but not aggressive in any way. They're just amazing dogs, soft as can be. Anyway, being on a farm, we live in the middle of nowhere. We have woods around us, one of which is down the bottom of our track. Henry was in the hall where the front door is, and Meg was in the kitchen with me. Henry started making noises. Side note, we call this huffing because he sounds like a stroppy teenager when he does this, like huff, huff, huff. When he huffs, it normally means that he wants to go outside. Bear in mind, the door has been open for over an hour and he had been coming in and out of the house with Meg, so we didn't think anything. Henry does this a lot. He loves to be outside and I think he's a polar bear at times. Oh my god, wait, is it like winter in the UK right now? Or is it winter in Australia? I just realized you said he's like a polar bear, but I'm in New York and it's summer for me, but is it winter for you guys? I don't know my geography. However, he started to growl, which I paused and thought, that's odd. Looked at Meg and she was just laying there, so carried on washing everything up. The growling got louder and louder. I looked up at Meg again and she had picked her head up. Then the growl got more aggressive. With that, Meg started growling. If you have dogs, you know they have different growls and barks. I call Henry. He didn't come into the kitchen. He wouldn't let up. Meg went into the hall and she got more aggressive and louder. This is odd behavior, not like them at all. So we let them out. And with that, oh my god, the barks coming from the dogs were really unsettling. We knew that something was wrong. My partner goes outside and I follow. As I walked into the house, I had this knot in my stomach, the fear. I put it down to being anxious because of the dogs reacting the way that they were. My partner and I are stood at the top of the track. It's just off of our drive and we can walk straight into it. The track goes down 8 meters and bends slightly, but because of the trees, you can't see beyond the bend. Henry is now going nuts. He's a big dog, and with him being that aggressive and alert, it was making me feel even worse. Meg was also not happy at all. I've never, and I mean never, seen the dogs like this before. Meg is right behind him, but Henry wouldn't let Meg go in front of him. Meg is not even half the size of Henry, and he's protective of her. He's the big brother. Henry hasn't run down the track. He's walked, but like he's apprehensive as he goes around this slight bend. You can hear he's getting more aggressive, and you could almost hear the fear in his bark. I say to my partner, stay there, I will go look. That's very brave. It could have been an animal, praying that it was. But the main reason was I knew that something was awfully wrong. I follow the dogs, leaving my partner, go past the trees in the bend, and start to focus my eyes. Bear in mind, this is around 2130 hours, 2200 hours, so the sun has set, and it's that getting darker, grayish, bluish time of night. Hold on, I'm in America. What time is that? 21, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So is that 9:30, 10 o'clock? Is that right? PM? Meaning you can clearly see objects, but it's a lot harder to make out details and colors are harder to distinguish clearly. I was calling the dogs and they weren't coming. I realized something in that moment. It was silent. Apart from the dogs, it was completely silent. That is never a good sign. I'm still walking, and as soon as I go around the bend, the dogs are going nuts. Henry is launching himself off the ground. His hackles are up. With that, Meg turns around and runs behind me. Trying to comfort her, I'm saying, you're okay, girl. Henry, come on, boy. I'm not skating around trying to work out what the dogs are barking at. Then my eyes adjust and look down the track and in the direction of where the dogs are directing their anger, and I realize what they are barking at. Oh my god, what is it? Down the track, I don't know how many meters or yards, but it really wasn't far away from me, was a pitch black figure, very, very tall, not moving, just looking across the field towards a wood. I cannot emphasize this enough. This figure was deadly still, frozen. There were no sounds, nothing, like every animal had frozen, no sounds at all. Being in the middle of nowhere, there are always birds and animal noises, etc. That is a very common thing to happen when there's some sort of alien or being, like that the sounds, all of the sounds just stop and it's kind of like time freezes. Now I felt the blood run cold, and when I tell you I felt like my soul was being sucked out of my body, I truly mean it. I was paralyzed. The feeling of dread, despair, coldness, evil, fear. I forgot to breathe. It felt like forever I was trying to move and scream, but I couldn't. I was paralyzed. It felt like forever to manage to scream, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? There was a lot more swearing. Babe, I don't know what the hell this is, but it's not good. It's not good. We need to go now. My partner says, oh, for goodness sake, I'm coming. My partner doesn't believe in anything like this at all. Nothing paranormal, spiritual, etc. He walks past me and starts to call the name of one of the guys who works on the farm's name. Jack? No answer. Again, Jack. calling fucking nothing. Still walking towards the figure, I tell him to stop. Please just stop. Something is wrong. That is not Jack. He replied, babe, I'm fine. You're overreacting. I begged him to stop, but I could hear that he was annoyed with me now. He started to call Henry as Henry was still going nuts. I start to run back up the track because I know that this is not Jack. I went to the boulder and stood at the top of it where I can see everything that's happening. I'm not making this up. Everything I had been feeling when I first saw the figure had increased tenfold. After my partner shouting Jack several times and walking down the track, he just stopped. This is not like my partner. He would normally confront anyone who's on our land and not meant to be there, especially at night. A slight bit of relief that he had stopped, but he wasn't coming back. He pulled out his phone and he called Jack's mobile, but his wife answered. Jack had forgotten his phone, but she said, yeah, Jack is on the farm. My partner again calls, Jack, is everything okay? You might think, well, he didn't hear you. He would have. He would have seen the dogs going nuts. He would have seen and heard everything. This person didn't acknowledge that we were there at all. They didn't put their hands up to acknowledge us. Why was he still looking across the field? There was this horrible, eerie feeling. It was so quiet. Henry and Meg had stopped barking and there was silence. No wind, no animal noises. It's like someone had turned on mute on the whole farm. My partner proceeded to walk back towards me, calling Henry. Henry starts to walk back and this person slowly turns his head, watching my partner walk up the track. Oh my God, I'm chills. It then sharply turns its head looking directly at me, tilts its head and stops. I could feel their eyes. It was like burning into my soul. I then realized I could see their arms. I felt physically sick. They were so long, abnormally long. It wasn't normal. That feeling of fear, dread, evil, despair, just everything I had been and was feeling. I felt like I was drowning. Tears were streaming down my face. Meg, Henry, and I ran inside the house and my partner started speaking to his dad who lives next door, and both of them just said that it was the guy who works on the farm, Jack. I knew otherwise. I was begging my partner to say that Jack didn't answer when we were calling, but he didn't answer. He just gave me the, will you be quiet look.
This guy is pissing me off. I am sorry.
As I said in the beginning, I am spiritual and I like to think that I am very accurate with the energy I get from people and atmospheres, etc. I was still crying. After speaking to his dad, my partner came in and he was telling me to stop crying. I was trying to explain what I saw, but again, it's Jack. Stop now. So I started asking questions. Why didn't he turn around? He could have heard us, so why didn't he acknowledge us? Why was he deadly still and not moving an inch? We were so close to him, it would have taken me 20 seconds to walk to him, so he would have heard us. What was he doing on the track? There was nothing to be done there. Why did he have such long arms? Why was it so deathly quiet? No wind and like all the animals had hidden. I know I've mentioned so many times how quiet it was, but I haven't heard a silence so loud. The reply, stop. That's enough. You're just exaggerating. I know you believe in ghosts and stuff, but you're being dramatic. It was Jack. Now enough. I felt physically and mentally exhausted. I knew it wasn't a person. No one was listening to me though. My partner told me not to speak to his dad about it. Now I was just angry that he wasn't listening to me. Me too. I shut all the curtains as normal, but shut the blinds, which I don't normally do. I locked the doors, which is normal, but I checked them countless times. The dogs were still not settling. Henry wouldn't leave the front door, and Meg was glued by my side. I asked my partner to contact Jack and ask him if he was on the track and what he was doing. He said that he would. Later in the night, I was so exhausted, but I couldn't sleep. I still felt like something wasn't right. I was scared. I was tossing and turning. I decided to watch some Netflix. Then I could hear something. We live in a coveted barn, and I thought it was just the floors creaking. But then I heard it again. It wasn't the floor. I could hear this screeching, a screech which went right through me. I can't really describe it other than it wasn't an animal. I know what the animals sound like in the night, and none of them sound like a piercing screech that I heard. Every time I heard it, it was getting closer. I have lived in the countryside all of my life. I hear foxes, owls, etc. It wasn't any of them. It was silent apart from this horrible noise. In the morning, I asked my partner if Jack had replied. Oh, babe, sorry, I forgot to message. I was livid. I got him to message him there and then. I also saw the message. Nothing like this has ever happened before, and I've never felt a feeling like it. I've been down that track at all hours. There's a wood opposite us and a field, which I hate. I don't go anywhere near it. But the track, even the wood at the bottom of the track, I don't mind it at all. I enjoy a late night walk, and I mean at like 1 a.m. when I can't sleep. Friday, I went down there. It feels horrible. Just in this specific point/area. As soon as you walk past it, the feeling goes. Then, when you're by the wood, horrible feeling again. Just like I had felt when I saw the figure, but not as intense. I cry, and my partner still thinks I'm overreacting. Saturday, the farm worker contacted my partner. I was relieved. I asked my partner what he said, and oh, he was so reluctant to tell me. What did he say? I've been waiting for this. The text said, "Hey mate, yeah, I was on the farm by the buildings. Sorry I didn't tell you I left my phone at home. No, I didn't see you. Sorry if I upset the dogs." The buildings are on the other side of the farm, meaning he was nowhere near our house or the track. My partner's face when I read that text message, he was white. I don't know what the hell that was. Have you got any ideas at all? I need some kind of an explanation. What can I do to stop it? What can I do so it doesn't happen again? I am scared, and I've never been scared about that track or the wood. Every time I think about it, I feel those same feelings, like the feeling is haunting me just like the memory. Most importantly, though, I know how my dogs reacted. I personally think if you need any proof, then animals, especially dogs, they will tell you what scares them or unsettles them with just their reaction. Yep. Please could you share this? As I said, I've had many experiences with the paranormal, mostly with ghosts and spirits, but nothing like this. I know what I saw. I know what my partner saw. Although it's clear he's still in denial. He's trying to explain it away. First of all, I want to reiterate that I do not like the way that your partner is handling this and treating you and invalidating your feelings, and I am here to tell you that we believe you. Second of all, that was not a person. It was something. It was something, especially because there was no sound, especially because there was no animal sounds, no wood sounds. It was completely silent except for that figure there. And then except for those screeches, I'm thinking either some sort of an alien or extraterrestrial being or an S-walker or something else. Maybe not an S-walker. I'm not really sure, but they did have the really long, freaky arms. I need to hear what everybody else thinks in the comments. Please let me know. What do you think that it was? How can this person protect themselves so that it does not come back again? Or if it does come back again, how can they make sure they're protected? Thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm Anti Matrix. If you're into these kind of stories, make sure that you follow me and send yours in right here.